Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of My Drive. We are here in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, for what is going to be, in an ideal world, my best results of the season. I love this circuit. I'm pretty handy around here. So I'm really hoping we can really get quite a lot of points on the board to try and make sure that we get as many opportunities down the line to, if we have a bad result, we're not really worrying too much. But heading into practice, as you can see, acclimatization was fine, and then once again fuel saving's going really well. There's quite an easy way of saving fuel as well as maintaining a decent pace of time in this car. And then when it comes to the race strategy and race laps, we had some really good pace. We seemed to top the timing sessions by about 2/10. So going into quali, obviously I'm quite confident. Our teammate Aaron, obviously also really high up there. And as you can see, it's really cloudy. We have an incident though. We go a little bit wide through that sector. We keep the foot down, and unfortunately we bang and damage our front wing. At the time, it was kind of double jeopardy because not only was that lap not very good, the subsequent lap where I wanted to see if we could drive with it wasn't very good either, which means we lost an extra lap. We obviously then had damage to contend with, but that did mean throughout the following lap, we've got a brand new car that can actually put a competitive time in. So this is what we did. Going through Sector 1, we actually managed to have the best Sector 1 of the session, which was really good. So when we come across the line, we're up about 5 tenths. That's going to put us in a pretty tidy P6 position. So that's not too bad. Hopefully we can find a little bit more time as we're effectively on our 3rd lap. So coming through the exit of the first section, we just drop the car on the curb and break our front wing, and that basically ends the session. So unfortunately for us, that's not going to be good enough because that puts us down to P14. So it's quite a mixed bag, quite frustrating because obviously that keeps us out of reverse grid pole. So we'll be starting 14th for both races. So if you have a really bad quali, you are so incredibly screwed, which is double jeopardy, right? Which is never good. But unfortunately, some of our rivals like Antonelli's up there quite high. Hadjar's going to be up there quite high. So we are going to be struggling and be on the back foot more or less the whole weekend, sadly. And luckily for this time, we actually do manage to get a decent grid slot, which, if you saw Bahrain, if you haven't, go check that out. It wasn't great, but we are ready for the 5 lights. We are sitting in a lonely P40. We've got Bortoletta behind us, Barnard ahead of us, and Crawford. We get off to a good start. We're going to split between Crawford and Barnard. We've got Colapinto and Antonelli and Behrman just ahead of us. We're going to take it nice and gingerly into turn 1. We don't want to get caught in too many issues. We're going to take a nice wide line as we kind of go around the outside of Barnard momentarily just to get back ahead of him. We've got Antonelli who's just ahead, who has dropped out of position, and through this section we have carried so much pace, which is why our Sector 1 has been so good. So we're going to maybe look to the outside of Antonelli, swap to the inside, try and catch him. Now we're going to go up the inside of Colapinto. We're going to overcook it a little bit, and Antonelli's going to get one hell of a switchback on us, and he's going to plop himself right ahead of us, but behind Behrman. So we're going to have to try and see if we dispatch of Anthony as quick as we can. We go up the inside a bit too hot, which means we have to use the runoff area. Therefore, we can't keep the position. We have to give it back to Antonelli. So we're going to briefly slow so he overtakes us, which is the absolute disaster because through goes Colapinto, and now here comes Barnard on our left-hand side. So we've lost 1, 2, 3 positions, and to make things worse, Barnard has just driven straight into the side of us, which pushes us even wider. We don't lose the position, luckily, but what is he doing? Like, he just absolutely just rammed into us coming into the corner. Absurd, completely absurd. I'm going to get a run on Barnard now going into turn 1. Maybe going to get the opportunity to go to the outside of him, which will then turn to the inside. We lock our front left, so we can't keep that position either. We're going to let Barnard go. And this start couldn't have been much worse, to be honest. So we're going to have a look at how this all started. So we go deep up the inside of Antonelli. We let him go, which is the right thing to do rather than trying to keep the penalty. And then let's see what Barnard does here. So right now he's completely clear. And yeah, he just jinks to the right. I don't think he knew he was there. Maybe he thought he cleared us, which is a bit naive of him. Nonetheless, we're going to try and go around the outside here of Taylor Barnard to try and put him in a rearview mirror. Obviously, I'm not a massive fan of him based off of what's happened so far. We got Antonelli defending at the moment from Colapinto, so these two are going to go side by side through here, which is music to our ears. So this is going to give us a chance to catch up, very similar to Bahrain. So we'll take full advantage where possible of drivers fighting, and we're going to get into DRS of Colapinto, and if we can follow him through here, we're up past Antonelli as well in the slipstream of Colapinto coming into turn 1. Antonelli's going to dive up the inside as it looks like Behrman locked a front. I lock a front. Everyone's locking a tyre. We tyre to tyre with Antonelli there, and I think Antonelli's going to hold on to that, as we can't quite get the traction we probably would want, but quite a few people are locking up tyres here. We get a tremendous run through that section on Antonelli. As I said, through that section we have just got supreme pace and commitment. We're going to go the long way around Antonelli. We've done this with a few drivers so far, not necessarily to great luck, but Antonelli's going to squeeze us against the wall, and it manages to come off this time. So Antonelli really putting up a bit of a fight there, which we quite like to see. Coming on to start lap 4 now. We've got a little bit of a challenge from Antonelli coming down our right-hand side. He's going to send it. He clears us, but we're going to send it back up the inside. We're going to let off the brake, run it wide, and we're going to have the perfect line to get a better exit of Antonelli. It's going to be tight. He's still going to be there, but us having the inside line almost makes this a no contest, because there's no way you can really get 2 cars through there without an incident. But on the end of this lap, we do manage to catch up to Colapinto. We are within the DRS. We managed to get a bit of a gap to Antonelli, which he's had some good pace. He is the pole man after all. So we are going to follow Colapinto through, and we're just going to see if we can pick a few drivers off once again through this section, our best section of the circuit. It's the best thing about this as well is it leads into an overtaking opportunity, and a pretty decent one as well. So we're going to send it around the outside. We're going to overcook it slightly, go extremely wide. Luckily, we don't make any contact with Behrman. Colapinto does go back through, which unfortunately is not what was intended, but at the same time we've got a decent bit of a run. Taking a longer line does give us a little bit of closing speed on Colapinto. We're all over the curve through this section, which gives us a pretty decent run onto the back of Colapinto. I think if we want to try and make some progress and get into the points, we're probably going to have to chance a move here, probably up the inside. It didn't work before on Kimi. Can we try and make it work? Down the inside of Colapinto. We go up his inside, and we're almost both of us off the circuit. I'm clearly off the circuit. So once again, we can't get that move done, and we're going to have to let Colapinto through. But he's taking his sweet time, and it looks like Antonelli's also going to go past. It looks like Barnard hit the wall, so Antonelli's on our inside. We do damage limitations here to try and not let Antonelli through. He managed to get past a full car length, but unfortunately didn't seem to have the traction. So he managed to just let Colapinto through, but he really took a lot of time. So we've got another tremendous run on Colapinto coming up into our favourite sequence of corners, it seems. And we're going to take full use of this bend, and we're going to go all the way around the outside. It's probably the first time we've hadn't had a driver fight us back through here. So we're going to have to chase down Behrman and Sullivan. But we're on the penultimate lap here. We're going to have to try our luck a little bit, because, as it stands, we're just P10, which isn't enough in the sprint race for us personally. We're going to have a look down the inside of Behrman, but we've overdone it. We've hit Sullivan. We've damaged our front wing, and everybody and all the hard work we've just done is just going to fly past us. We just overcooked it once again. It seems to be our race today. We just do a little bit. We just glancingly hit Sullivan. He's lucky he hasn't got a puncture, to be honest. Here's Behrman's on board. He sees us coming, moves out the way so slightly, and that's us pretty much done. Again, Sullivan is extremely lucky to not retire, for 1, 2, have broken suspension, or 3, have a puncture. But for us, it's just an absolute nightmare. Everything was looking good. P10, Villa Gomez is going to go through. He kind of parks it on the apex there, and we kind of lose out. So we might as well just let everybody go through. But this has turned into an absolute disaster. We was on for a P10 at least, and we ended up finishing last of the runners. So that's such a disappointing race. We just seemed to overcook it almost on every bend. We somehow got driver of the day, which doesn't make sense. So thank you to the best fans, but it's so frustrating. I mean, we got Isaac Hadjar on the podium, which isn't ideal. Again, another one of our rivals, but it's just a race to forget for us here. It had so much promise at the beginning of the weekend, and now languishing down in last. Poor Aaron P14. So hopefully we're going to be able to make our way through. We got a Prema 1-2 on quali. They look out the front row, which is quite impressive for both Antonelli and Ollie Behrman. Marty and O'Sullivan P3 and P4. We got Miata and Kushimani quite high up for them. Isaac Hadjar in 7th. Dirksen, the sprint race winner. Colapinto outside of the top 10, so he'll be a bit annoyed by that. Ourselves in P14, Aaron down in an awful 16th place, but there's not really much you can do. Of Villa Gomez, who we raced against in Bahrain, has also had a tremendous bad qualifying session, which puts him all the way down there. So hopefully we can have a bit of a better result than the sprint race. It wasn't ideal by any means. We just couldn't really pick our braking zones properly, or if we did, we just overcommitted and just overcooked nearly every overtake. The overtakes we didn't overcook actually come off. So it's going to be the exact same drivers around us as we wait for the 5 red lights to come on. And we are underway. We get a tremendous start again. We're going to squeeze up the left-hand side. We go past 2 cars who are ahead of us. So we're already up into P9. We've made a tremendous start as we seem to get really good runs on this F2 car. But we're going to take it nice and easy. We're going to go follow Hadjar. Try and get past Vishore here. There's a run. We're going to go alongside of his rear wheel. So he's going to have to give us some space as we go into the left-hander. And he's hit into the side of us, which has damaged our end plate. Very similar to what happened to us and Martin's. So let's have a look here. See what he does. It looks like he clips the inside wall, perhaps, which then sends him careering into us, which is a very silly mistake. He had plenty of room. So the fact he's hit the inside wall has not only done us damage, but as we go back to the live feed, he's coming into the pit lane to change that front wing as we get a mighty run on Isaac Hadjar through what is, of course, the best sequence on this circuit for us. We're going to go the long way around Isaac Hadjar, and that looks to be a position done. He squeezes us a little bit, so fair play to Isaac Hadjar for doing that. But that does put us up into P7 as we now chase down the man in P6, Marty, who we had a little bit of a battle with throughout both races in Bahrain. It was quite interesting to see how we got on with both of the Campos cars, doing quite well here as well. You can see we had a moment on the exit curb. We take so much curb, which clearly is a bit of a risk. We get a tremendous run, but it doesn't always work in our favour, as we almost found out there. But Marty looking a bit vulnerable. There's a lock-up just ahead of us from Miata. We lock up the inside, and we get a really good move off past Marty there. I don't think he necessarily expected that, and I think with the lock-up just ahead, which does seem to be from Miata, we're going to take that position and go up the road. We have had a moment, and we've spun. We're facing the wrong way, and there's cars going to the left of us. We're going to have to wait. There's nothing we can do as it goes to a red flag. The less we talk about that incident, the better. We're underway for the lights out. We've got Zane Maloney just ahead of us. We've got Dirksen we're going to go past as well. How that wasn't a safety car, I'm not sure. We'll take the red flag. We're up to lap 7 already. We've got Paul Aaron on our left-hand side, our teammate. So after all that drama, we've somehow found ourselves ahead of Paul Aaron. So he's not having a good season at all. We've got Colapinto and Bortoletto ahead of us. We've got Crawford just ahead of us as well. It's so tight through here. Richard Vishore's out the session. I have no idea what's going on with Richard at the moment. We've got Colapinto is going to be our next person to potentially overtake. He's going really slowly. We're going to go up at a position here where you don't normally see overtakes. It's normally on the exit of here that we get a good run. We managed to go over the curb and get the job done. So we're past Colapinto. Bortoletto is going to be the next driver. We're going to go the long way around the outside into the final corner. We go really deep, and we're going to have to try and fight that another day. Overcooking it once again. That seems to be our general trend. As Colapinto still behind us, Bortoletto goes into the pits, which moves us up 1 position. So we're behind Crawford. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. We might have a chance at Crawford going into here, trying to get into PA. We're going to dive it down his inside, tuck in behind Isaac Hadjar. We lock the front left, and that move is very similar to what happened in the feature race, but this time we managed to pull it off. So we're going to have to chase Isaac Hadjar down once again this race. Maybe, just maybe, we might end up pulling off a similar move that we did to Isaac Hadjar earlier in this race. We'd get a tremendous run once again. He's going to cover the inside line. We're going to have to look to the outside line. And this is probably going to be a carbon copy all the way around the outside. He's going to fight it back this time, though. He's going to squeeze us once again. He's put up more of an effort of a fight this time. But unfortunately for Isaac Hadjar, he's going to have to yield as there's just no room. Marty is trying to get past Taylor Barnard now. Can we see if we can follow him through? Or does the gap open into the inside? We're going to go down the inside of not one, but both Taylor Barnard and Pepe Marti, and we say thank you very much. We're up to P5. Now we need to have a look at this again because this was such an audacious move. The fact that it came off, considering how everything else has gone, is quite impressive. There was such a gap there, so they were too busy focused fighting each other, and you can see from Hadjar's on board, there's at least almost 2 cars width left to the inside. It would be rude not to take the opportunity to pass there, wouldn't it really? From this angle of the rear wing of Taylor Barnard, you could just see we just slide up the inside. Such a gap. So I think Barnard squeezed him, but it was enough for us to get through. It was enough for us to get P5, and we have one hell of a recovery drive. All things considered, we caused a red flag. We lost our end plate. We somehow managed to come home at a decent points paying position. Driver of the day, that's back-to-back driver of the days here. And Kimi Antonelli, our rival, has won the feature race. That's going to be a good host of points for Kimi Antonelli. What can you say? Tremendous recovery drive. It wasn't ideal, but we managed to get on the board. And you know what? Overall, P6 over the weekend, considering we didn't score in the first race, we'll take that. We're just behind Marty. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. That was such a chaotic race. It's very different results. If you have enjoyed, make sure to slap a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below which was your favourite, the feature race or the sprint race. And what do you think about that red flag? Should it not have been a safety car? I guess we'll have to see. Until next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.